Well, everybody, we are back. As you can see, I'm sitting here with Mr. Jeff Goldblum. Thank you very much for helping us out there. And, looking into the future. I'm going to pay you a compliment, and I don't do that often with my celebrity guests. I think they're scum. But no. But you walked in the door today, and you, I think, first came on the show many, many years ago. You do not age. You look exactly the same all the time. If you go and rent a movie that Jeff Goldblum was in a long time, you look exactly the same. No. That's a great compliment. You are in great shape. What are you doing? Are you drinking the blood of the dead? What's your...
No. Well, thank you very much. I don't know. You know, I mean, I try to take care of myself and eat a certain way and, you know, sleep well and stuff like that.
Right.
I mean, you look good. You just told me you're 30 what? 30?
No. I'm 19 years old. I look very bad for 19.
You look good, but you don't fool, you know, you don't rob it forever. You don't cheat it forever, you know.
Some people do. Look at, you know, well, the famous example is, what's it, Dick Clark. Dick Clark is one of those guys where it's almost getting creepy that he won't age. You know what I mean? It's starting to be suspicious.
How old is he now?
He is, I think, 108 years old. Well, there's photos of him in the Spanish-American War fighting. And holding a microphone, which didn't even exist then.
Well, everybody's interested in staying young, I guess, and people do all kind of things with, besides living right, with pills and things. And plastic surgery, isn't that freaky, though? I think it always looks, it doesn't work, does it?
I don't know. I mean, the minute plastic surgery becomes affordable to me, I will get it. The minute I can get some, I would have my whole head. I'm Irish, and we get big fat heads. I want the bones sanded down on either side. So I have like a thin, appealing head. And there's a lot of things I would do. What about you? There's nothing that you would do?
I don't think so, but you have a fine face. Look at that.
When you got in close, that was scary. That was... Jeff Goldblum, when he gets in close, that's kind of, I don't know, I remember The Fly. That was weird.
You have a prominent vein there?
I have a vein right here, which I want cosmetic surgery to remove, and it's probably supplying vital blood to my cerebral cortex. So I'll be on the air the next day, and the vein will be gone. I'll be like, oh.
I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything, but, you know, having said that. But teeth, I had a little teeth, you know, cosmetic tooth thing. That seems legal to me. That doesn't seem out of bounds.
It's all legal, I believe.
I know, but morally, once you get into anything like this, I think you're making a bad mistake. Anything, you know, those girls with the lips, I think that never works.
Well,
never.
You know,
I think that's hard.
I think what's sad is when they do start to age later on and they've put 50 pounds of collagen in, and basically I think it's also insulation, home eating insulation into their... It doesn't age well. Now, what about, you also are fortunate, you still have a good head of hair. Do you ever worry about that?
No, I don't worry about it so much. But the hair, but I was thinking, you know, about, you know what Hollywood people do too? Somebody told, you know, Botox, everybody knows about Botox, but somebody was telling me that they put it in their underarms so as not to sweat.
I've heard about that.
Isn't that disgusting? Isn't that awful?
Well, I'm going to do it as soon as, again, I can. No, first of all, you're supposed to sweat. People don't. You're supposed to sweat. If you don't sweat, you're going to pass out. But apparently they're getting injected into their armpits.
I don't like that idea.
Well, I'm sorry. We're going to do it to you. Come on in, fellas.
Sweat. And I told somebody in the dressing room, I saw a kid who didn't want to blush. And he had an uncontrollable, very embarrassing, he said it really hurt his life. And he found an operation so as to keep him from, they cut something or they sewed something together so he wouldn't blush.
Why not just remove the shame center from your brain?
Well, that's right.
That could easily be done, too.
Well, it's a little more complicated and it has to do with your humanity, but I think it's awful to remove that. And hair, you were saying, yes. Well, no, my hair is fine. But people do foolish things if they're going bald, don't they?
You think they should just embrace it and say, I'm going bald, that's the way it is?
Have you ever seen anything successful? I mean, really, maybe you have. I guess if there's something successful, we don't know it. But every toupee looks horrible to me. Right. And that doll's hair looks terrible, and the comb-overs, you know.
Right.
Just terrible, terrible. And how about the people who have contact lenses that are painted? There are people who wear those. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, people get colored contact lenses so their eyes will look a certain color. Yeah.
There are those tinted ones, I think, that sort of enhance your blue and stuff, but there are those kind that are painted. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, they have designs and little things on them.
Well, I don't know paint so much, but they have a different color. You can change your blue to green or something.
Right.
But all it is a horrible painting of, you know, around the colored part, leaving a little part in the middle for. And I think it always looks like the Children of the Damned in some horror movie. It's terrible.
I think what's going to happen soon is that they're going to start putting corporate names on those contact lenses, and you're going to see celebrities. You're going to be like watching The View, and they're going to get in tight on Star Jones, and it's going to say like Exxon over her eyes. I swear to God that's going to happen within the year.
Somebody told me that they were selling for all the NFL football teams, all the logos, some kind of, you know, colors that you could, you know, if you were a Steeler fan, you could have black and gold on your eyes.
Right. If I would get paid to do that, I would do that. I would wear corporate logos on my eyes. I don't care. I just want the sweet cash. Let me ask you, you helped us do Year 2000, looking into the future, yes. that bit. We've got to change the name of that sometime. We started doing it in '93 when it was the future, and now it's sad. But anyway, the point is, you seem to me like someone who would maybe believe in the paranormal. Have you ever dabbled in it? You have sort of an ethereal quality to you. I do? Yeah.
I do. I have dabbled. I'm a very meat and potatoes guy in some ways. Did you read Carl Sagan's last book, The Demon Haunted World? He's very skeptical about all these things that are fun and sort of goofy and crazy to believe in. He's for, consider extraordinary things, but extraordinary claims need an extraordinary evidence.
Right.
He's for poo-poos a lot of things. Yeah, but I have been exposed to things. One time, do you know psychic surgery?
Yes. Psychic surgery is when they go and they say that they remove things from your body. Is that right?
Right. I think it started in the Philippines, maybe, and maybe there were some real practitioners of this. It's very radical.
I think we've all seen the footage where they're pulling at someone's chest and they pull guts out.
Something out, but there's no blood or anything like that. They say with their outer etheric body they can go in. There are people who really believe this, and hey, I'm open-minded. But one time there was somebody in California. Not surprisingly, and I went out of curiosity.
In California, there's one on every street corner, yeah.
I know. And I went, and in the waiting room, there were afflicted people, and it was kind of sad, and I was like, and then I waited my turn, and I went in, it was a guy, and he had a female assistant, and he said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, "Nothing, really. I'm just really kind of curious about the thing." I said, I am nearsighted. A little bit nearsighted. I can't see far. I said, but that's because the thing doesn't meet the thing and whatever they say. He said, well, leave that up to me. You want me to take an x-ray of you? I said, well, what do you mean? He said, lay down on this operating table. He had a kind of a medicine table, an examining table. And I laid down. He said, I'm going to take an x-ray, and put a piece of onion skin typing paper and then a Bible on top of that. And he let it there. And then he took out the onion skin. And he said, He said, well, you're nearsighted because you've got a blockage behind the eyes. Do you want me to remove it?
See, that's my cue to go. When someone says, here's my x-ray machine and it's onion skin paper, that's when I make my beeper go off and, whoa, I gotta go.
Oh, no, my tango lesson, this happens in front of me. How did I forget? I'm not so sensible. At the time I was adventurous, I said, okay, so I get myself on the table, and he goes like this, and if you do it to yourself, you go, geez, if there's an etheric fingers that he's doing this, he might be behind my eyes, and he's kind of doing like this, and he says, keep your eyes closed, and da-da-da. I thought, geez, is he behind there somehow? And his assistant, there seems to be some wet things on my face, and she's kind of sponging something off. I thought, what have I gotten myself into? This is terrible. And he says, okay, I've got it. I've got it. And he says, and I go, hey, what's that? He's like, yeah, you open your eyes. Can I see that? And he was putting something in a little basin with water that the assistant had, and it looked like a piece of meaty, gristly something. It was kind of bloody. And he says, that's it. I said, wow, that's really something. And he said, now let me, and he put some oil here, and he massaged me a little bit.
Okay, here's where it gets creepy. Then he lowered the lights and put on a Barry White album, and you woke up later on.
Yes, not knowing what happened. But he said, nah, it won't get fixed exactly. You have to come back for more treatments like this. And I heard that in the ensuing visits, like he did for many other people, that's when he started to charge them a lot of money. And then he skipped town. So I think he was, the baloney meister. And,
hey, don't jump to conclusions.
And I think
that guy who pulls chicken out of your eye may be onto something.
It's chicken liver, wasn't it?
It probably is. There's probably a restaurant right next door, and he gets the scraps.
I know.
Look what I found in your brain.
I know.
You have a movie which I'm going to mention now.
Yes.
But you don't like to promote your movies on talk shows. You don't like to. A lot of people are desperate, like, hey, mention the movie, but you've never been that way. You're not that way.
Now that you bring it up, well, you know, I mean, this movie, for instance, is I actually.
Igby Goes Down.
Yes, there are movies that I've been in that I feel okay. I saw it last night, all finished for the first time. It's fine. It's a good movie, in fact. It's good. I know what you want me to talk about, but it's in fact good. This is not, you know, listen.
No. I'm talking about the philosophy of, like, pitching movies.
Well, I just find myself, because I love talk shows. I watch your talk show. I see people get interviewed, and I don't understand when they're kind of. They really seem to be wanting you to, you know, get those tickets opening weekend and buy it, and they give a pitch for the movie. It's really good, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Well, yeah, I get, but, you know, then you're going to see the movie, and it turns out to be kind of crappy, and, you know, then what do you think of them? I mean, you know, I don't think you have to do that, because we see people do this all the time. That's why people come on your show, but it doesn't, when the movie
they come
flops,
on the show to see me and to spend time with me.
Well, that's why I do it.
Not to promote things.
Well, that's why I do it. I mean, I do it. I visit this place on TV, and to visit it here is like being, you know, in one of my favorite places. It's like
That's
visiting.
very,
it's true.
That's very nice
So
of
I
you
don't
to
have
say.
to talk about the show, so, you know.
Well, now that you said that, I'm going to mention the movie. Igby Goes Down opens next Friday in select cities. Go out and see Igby Goes Down. See, I'm doing it for you. You've buttered me up, and now I'm doing it. Yeah. I'll be dancing around in the next act like, go see Igby Goes Down. I'll sell my soul, yeah. Hey, you know what? I love it when you come on the show. You're just a lot of fun to talk to. Jeff Goldblum, John Miller's coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.